The music was loud, not just loud, bass thumping through the floor, lights flashing in slow pulses, mirrors reflecting a room full of people who looked like they belonged there, and one man who, apparently, didn't. Marcus stepped through the glass doors of the luxury gym, scanning his key card at the front desk without a word. His posture was calm, controlled, confident. Black hoodie, fitted joggers, clean sneakers, nothing flashy, but nothing cheap either. He walked in like he knew exactly where he was going, because he did. But the moment he passed the front desk, eyes followed him. Not admiration, not curiosity, suspicion. The receptionist, a blonde woman in her late 20s, leaned slightly toward the security guard standing nearby. "Do you know him?" she whispered. The guard shook his head slowly, still watching Marcus as he moved deeper into the gym. "I've never seen him before." That was enough. Because in places like this, not being recognized sometimes meant not belonging. Marcus dropped his gym bag near a bench and started stretching, completely unaware, maybe completely aware of the attention building around him. A few members glanced his way. One guy paused mid-set, staring longer than necessary. Another whispered something under his breath to his friend, both of them smirking slightly. Marcus ignored all of it. He had been here before, different gym, same energy. He put his headphones on, pressed play, and shut the world out. At least, that's what he tried to do, because across the room, the manager had just arrived, tall, athletic, confident in the way someone is when they've never had to question whether they belong somewhere. His name was Ryan, and he noticed everything, especially what didn't fit. "Who's that?" Ryan asked, nodding toward Marcus. The receptionist shrugged. "Not sure, just walked in." Ryan's eyes narrowed slightly. He's scanning. Yeah, but that didn't seem to matter. Ryan adjusted his shirt and started walking toward Marcus slow, purposeful, like he had already made up his mind. Marcus was mid-rep on the bench press when Ryan stepped into his space. "Hey," Ryan said. Marcus didn't respond. "Headphones, focus." "Hey," Ryan repeated, louder this time. Marcus stopped, sitting up slowly and pulling one earbud down. "Yeah." Ryan crossed his arms. "You remember here?" Marcus looked at him for a second, then nodded. "Yeah." Ryan didn't move. "Mind showing me?" Marcus blinked once. Not surprised, just tired. "I already scanned in." "Yeah, I heard," Ryan replied. "Still need to verify." Marcus exhaled slowly, grabbing his phone and opening the app. He turned the screen toward Ryan. "Membership active?" Ryan glanced at it, then back at Marcus, still not convinced. "You knew?" he asked. "No, I don't remember seeing you." Marcus gave a small shrug. "That doesn't mean much." Ryan's jaw tightened slightly. "It does here, there." It was. That subtle line. "This place isn't for you." Marcus put his phone away and stood up. "I'm just trying to work out." Ryan stepped closer. "And I'm just trying to make sure everything's legit." Around them, people had started watching. Not openly, but enough. Marcus looked around briefly, then back at Ryan. "You done?" he asked calmly. Ryan let out a short laugh. "Not yet." He gestured toward Marcus's bag. "What's in there?" Marcus didn't move. My stop. Mind opening it. Now the room felt different. Tighter. Heavier. Marcus held Ryan's gaze. "No." Ryan smirked slightly. "That's a problem." "No," Marcus said quietly. "Son." Ryan turned slightly, signaling to the security guard. "Let's take a look." The guard stepped forward, hesitant. "Sir, if you could just..." Marcus stepped back, his voice still calm but firmer now. "You're not touching my things." A few people nearby stopped their workouts completely now, phones subtly angled, watching, waiting. Ryan's tone hardened. "If you've got nothing to hide, this shouldn't be an issue." Marcus shook his head slowly. "This isn't about what's in my bag." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Then what is it about?" Marcus didn't answer immediately, because he knew, and so did everyone else, whether they admitted it or not. "This is about you deciding I don't belong here," Marcus said finally. Ryan laughed again, louder this time. "Man, don't make this something it's not." Marcus held his gaze. "It already is." Silence for a second. No one spoke. Then Ryan took a step closer. Opened the bag. Marcus didn't move. "Or what?" Ryan's expression shifted. "Oh, you leave." There it was. Clear, simple, final. Marcus looked at him for a long moment. Then slowly, he reached down, not to open the bag, but to pick it up. "Fine," he said. He slung it over his shoulder. "I'll leave." Ryan nodded, satisfied. "Good choice." Marcus turned and started walking toward the exit. Every eye in the gym followed him now, some curious, some uncomfortable, some agreeing. But just as he reached the front desk, the receptionist's computer beeped. Loud, sharp, unexpected. She frowned, looking down at the screen. "Wait." Ryan turned, What? Her eyes widened slightly. Ryan, what? She swallowed. I think you need to see this. Ryan walked over, annoyed. What is it now? She turned the screen toward him. For a second he didn't react, then his expression changed. Completely. What the? Marcus stopped walking, not because he wanted to, but because he felt it. The shift. He turned slightly. Ryan was staring at the screen like it had just rewritten reality. Sir, the receptionist said, her voice suddenly very different. Marcus? Marcus didn't move close. Ryan stepped forward slowly now. Not aggressive, not confident. Careful. Your name is Marcus Carty. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Yeah. Ryan swallowed. Hard. The confidence was gone now, replaced with something else, something unfamiliar. Why didn't you say anything? Marcus looked at him. Expression unreadable. Say what? Ryan hesitated. Then you're the investor. Silence. The entire gym felt like it froze. Every machine, every conversation, every breath. Marcus tilted his head slightly. Investor? He repeated. The receptionist nodded quickly now. You funded this place. The expansion, the equipment, all of it. A pause. Heavy, unavoidable. Ryan stepped back slightly, like the distance might fix what just happened. I didn't know, he said quickly. Marcus let out a quiet breath. Exactly. No anger, no shouting, just that one word, and somehow it hit harder than anything else. Ryan ran a hand through his hair. Look, man, I was just doing my job. Marcus shook his head. No, Ryan froze. This wasn't your job, Marcus said calmly. This was your assumption. The room stayed silent. No one moved now. No one even pretended not to listen. Ryan's voice dropped. I didn't mean. I know, Marcus cut in. You didn't mean to be wrong. That landed hard. The security guard stepped back quietly. The receptionist looked down at the desk. Marcus walked slowly back toward the center of the gym. Not rushed, not dramatic, just in control. He set his bag down again. Same spot, same place, but everything had changed. You asked what was in my bag, Marcus said. Ryan didn't respond. Marcus unzipped it slowly. Pulled out a pair of lifting gloves, a towel, a water bottle, nothing more, nothing less. He looked back up. That's it. Ryan couldn't even hold his gaze anymore. I'm sorry. Marcus nodded once. I know. That made it worse. He put his headphones back in, paused for a second, then looked around one last time. At the people, the stares, the silence. You don't need to know someone to respect them, he said. No one replied. Because there was nothing to say. Marcus pressed play, lay back on the bench, and continued his workout like nothing happened. But everything had. Because sometimes the biggest weight in the room isn't on the bar. It's the assumptions people carry. Without even realizing it, the weights clanked back into place like nothing had happened, but everyone knew something had. Marcus moved through his workout with the same calm rhythm-controlled reps, steady breathing, zero hesitation. If anything, he looked more focused now, more grounded. The rest of the gym, completely off balance. The guy who had been smirking earlier avoided eye contact now. Another member who had quietly watched the confrontation suddenly found deep interest in adjusting his machine for the third time. Conversations stayed low, careful, because the energy had shifted, and no one knew how to act in it. Ryan stood near the front desk, still trying to process everything. His hands rested on his hips, but there was no authority in the stance anymore. Just uncertainty. The receptionist leaned toward him, whispering, "What do we do?" Ryan didn't answer right away. For once, he didn't have control of the situation. He looked across the gym at Marcus lifting like nothing had happened, like the entire room hadn't just turned against him and then flipped back in seconds. That part bothered Ryan the most. Not the reveal, not the embarrassment, but the fact that Marcus didn't need any of it. Didn't need to prove anything. Didn't need validation. He just came to work out. Ryan took a slow breath and started walking toward him again. But this time, his steps were different. Slower, measured, careful. He stopped a few feet away, waiting this time. Not interrupting, not demanding, just waiting. Marcus finished his set, sat up, and pulled out one earbud again. Ryan hesitated, then spoke. I handled that wrong. No excuses. No deflection. Just that. Marcus studied him for a second, then nodded slightly. Yeah, you did. Ryan exhaled quietly, like he expected more, or maybe hoped for less. I shouldn't have approached you like that, he continued, or asked about your bag. Marcus didn't respond immediately. Ryan shifted slightly, uncomfortable under the silence. I made an assumption, he added. Marcus leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. Why? He asked. That question hit deeper than the apology. Ryan blinked. What? Why did you assume? Marcus repeated. Ryan opened his mouth, closed it, because the real answer wasn't easy. It's my job to notice things that don't seem right, he said finally. Marcus tilted his head slightly. And I didn't seem right. Ryan hesitated. Not familiar. Marcus nodded slowly. So unfamiliar equals suspicious. Ryan didn't have a response for that. And that silence, it said everything. Moffa stood up. Not aggressively, not confrontationally, just enough to make the point. I come here 3 times a week, he said. Different times, different hours. Ryan looked surprised. I've seen you, Marcus continued. You just never saw me. That one landed hard. Because it wasn't about visibility. It was about perception. Ryan ran a hand over his face. I get it, he said quietly. I messed up. Marcus looked at him for a long moment, then said something Ryan didn't expect. Messing up isn't the problem. Ryan frowned slightly. It's what you do after, Marcus added. There it was. The part that actually mattered. Ryan nodded slowly. I want to fix it. Marcus raised an eyebrow. You can't fix a moment. Ryan paused. Then what can I do? Marcus glanced around the gym again. At the people who were still pretending not to listen. At the ones who clearly were. You change what made the moment possible, he said. Ryan followed his gaze, and for the first time, he really saw it. The looks, the quiet judgments, the unspoken hierarchy of who belonged and who didn't. It wasn't just him. He was just the one who acted on it. I didn't build that, Ryan said quietly. Marcus nodded. I know, but you followed it, Marcus replied. Another silence, longer this time. Ryan straightened slightly. Then I'll change it. Marcus held his gaze. Make sure it's not just because of me. Ryan nodded firmly. It won't be. Across the room, the same members who had watched earlier were now watching again, but differently. Less judgment, more awareness. Because something had shifted beyond just one conversation. Marcus picked up his towel and wiped his hands. Then looked at Ryan one last time. You know what the real test is? He asked. Ryan shook his head slightly. The next person who walks in, Marcus said. Someone you don't recognize. Ryan glanced toward the entrant instinctively. Marcus continued. That's when we'll see if anything actually changed. Ryan didn't respond. But this time, he understood. Marcus put his earbud back in, pressed play, and walked toward the next machine. No announcement, no drama, just action. And slowly, the gym started moving again, but not like before. Because now, every glance carried a little more thought. Every interaction held a little more weight. The receptionist greeted the next person with more attention. The security guard stepped back a little quicker. Ryan stayed near the entrance, watching, thinking, not for control, but for awareness. Because for the first time, he realized something simple. Respect isn't about who you recognize, it's about how you treat the people you don't. And that lesson, it doesn't leave when the moment ends. It stays every time the door opens.